things are changing. Things are changing, and we have to do better. We have to become more efficient. Our tax dollars have to be spent wisely, and I'm looking at that on a regular basis on how do we become more efficient? How do we use technology in place sometimes of more personnel? The city can only afford so much when you talk about public safety for us and other entities out there. So I realize that there's only so much money out there, and we're going to continue to be good stewards, and that's part of my goal. My goals now and in the strategic plan, continue to be good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars, and not trying to be status quo in that either. Just where can we cut back? Where can we become more efficient in other areas and things like that? And I think about that on a daily basis. Is this needed? And things like that. Can we use technology? The body cameras. I know people are talking about that now because of the incident east of the state. We got to be real careful when you start talking about body cameras, because we've had other jurisdictions, they've had them, but when you're in an incident, it moves. Now it looks like, oh, they didn't capture that. They had a camera, they didn't capture that. It's so many things. Do you tell a victim of a sex crime that, okay, we're recording what you say? I mean, there's so many things that you have to have policy, and policy can allow you to turn it on and off, but you have to have strong policy, and you just can't jump out there because people are screaming that you need a body camera. There's so many other things that, and the way it stands now, if someone would go in a house over here and the neighbor would see the police go in this house, and if it's not an open investigation, they can request a copy of the tape so they can see inside the house. I mean, there's so many things, and we're going to have at least 2 forums, community forums on the outside, to talk about these things and to let people know these are some of the concerns we have and find out what their concerns are. That's another issue that hadn't happened in a lot of places. People just all of a sudden decide we're going to get cameras, and you have vendors that'll give them to you free for a while. Just of course, that's what they do, and I applaud them for that. But then they deploy these cameras without thinking about all these other issues, and then they say, hey, we're going to back up. Now we don't do this. Now the community's saying, oh, okay, or you don't get everybody a camera. So the incident that you want to capture, that person to have a camera, oh, it's a fix because they know this officer. I mean, so many different things that you have to think about. And right now we're building that trust, and we're coming together like I talked about with other segments of the community. The last thing you need to do is put a camera on an officer and to make people back up and say, I'm not going to talk to them because now they're recording what I say. You go to a homicide scene, now they're coming up talking to us more so than ever before in my perception. They're coming up, they're sliding notes, they're coming downtown to give statements. You put a camera on yourself and they know you have cameras, I imagine that's going to decrease. That's going to decrease when they know you're mic'd up and they're going to come up to you. They're probably not and that's what we don't need now. And we have to figure out a way. I'm not saying we're not going to have cameras, but we have to think about all those things. Our clearance rates up, homicide rates down. Do you do something now to impact that negatively when you're going in the right direction? And we have cameras on the cars already, and most of our cars, patrol cars. Officers are already mic'd up. We use that all the time in investigations and complaints. So we're already there. But again, we're just not going to jump on the bandwagon just to say we need cameras because other people are doing it. And then do it half prepared. If we do it and when we do it, and it's beneficial to the community and our entire community, because the police officers can benefit them, and it can benefit the other segments of the community to show what actually happened. But we have to be smart about how we deploy that. We have to be very smart about how we deploy it, because that can ruin relationships. That can certainly ruin relationships if it's not well thought out.